nonchalant look. You don't understand how our society works either. No one's going to listen to your lack of logic either. She was left stunned. People snickered, and even her daughter was
give me that.
to laugh. One of the checkouts became available, and I went around her to purchase my food. I thought this was the end, but no. Entitled Mom wanted to win this bitter battle. She came up to me, used her arms to swipe everything off the counter. You will apologize, and buy my groceries. Me. No, I will not apologize for
Oh
right
no!
Now, let alone reward your childlike behavior. I am older and wiser than you. You listen to me. I'm a senior at our state university, averaging 3.8 GPA.
I got that.
What's your education? Her daughter chiming in, giggling. GED? Entitled Mom. Her face goes red. I still have authority to ruin you. My husband is me. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Tell me, have you done any sort of work aside from getting money from him? Entitled Mom. What does that have to do with me?
Oh.
Have you endured any form of hardships, struggles, or problems to get to be where you are? Entitled Mom finally shuts up. Me. You see, that's the difference between you and me. Regular folks
You're already
like me had
bitching.
to work their butts off to achieve what they want. Unlike you, who had everything handed down because you married some rich and powerful dude. Entitled Mom was about to say more, but that's when the manager and security dude arrived. Didn't even need to take statements. Apparently, she was banned from this store. Didn't figure out why before. She was quickly escorted out with her daughter trailing behind. People who were watching the whole thing offered to buy my stuff, but I knew I wasn't that desperate. I simply went back to grab the items again and paid for it, despite the manager insisting it will be on the house. As I exited,
I'm about to put a whole nother starting 5 in.
Apologized for her mom's behavior. I apologized for that last remark, sounding like it was directed at her. She didn't find it offensive, but found it hilarious.
Hey, you the one playing catch up with all this mustard.
Like this? Or do you think you might be afraid to? Please let us know. I dare you to call me out. Am I the jerk for not letting my boyfriend correct the Chinese woman? We live in a shared house with a bunch of random crazy roommates. One of them was at the kitchen table during lunchtime. My boyfriend had just done his own lunch, and rather than ask her how her weekend was, or any other polite conversation, he instead asks her, "Can I teach you something about culture?" I knew he was going to tell her that Americans consider it rude to slurp food. But this lady wasn't at a business event. She was in her own home, and, in my opinion, can eat her own culture's food however she wants to.
Yeah, Ralph Sampson, that's who it
She
was.
was sitting alone by herself first, and we just happened to enter the same room after. So I cut my boyfriend off and said, "Stop." He kept trying to talk to her. Don't say
Africa on Africa.
He kept wanting to press the
Dad's eating frosty mini-me. So today isn't like yesterday.
Grrr, put down that break and pick up that PB&J.
Silence your growl with Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats, made to help fill you up. I don't have anywhere else to go. Go where? To get the procedure. Honestly, pretty nervous.
You got this.
The issue. Ignoring me, he said. I don't care, but Americans think it's rude to slurp your food. Jeff, stop it. Drop it.
I knew it.
As she looked highly embarrassed and quietly continued eating her meal. I apologized to her and said, "I apologize for Jeff's comment." And he said,
ain't grabbing no
"I
iron."
apologize for my girlfriend not letting me talk to you. I don't think it's Jeff's place to educate people who didn't ask for feedback and were just trying to
I
be
knew that was
comfortable
the
in their
fuck
own.
off.
He thinks I'm being culturally insensitive for not letting him help teach her American customs. Who's being the jerk here? Edit. By help teach her American etiquette, he meant that he wanted to tell her that Americans would find it rude if she slurped her food at a business lunch or such occasion. Not that she had to stop doing it at home. He worked as a cultural consultant abroad, helping foreign business people secure deals with Americans.
Who the fuck was that?
Customs and mannerisms and whatnot. So I genuinely believe that Jeff thought he was doing her a favor by letting her know that others might be turned off by her slurping. But
Yeah, that logical. I got 7 bullets.
it's not his place to give such information unsolicited. And two, the minute you point out that Americans find slurping rude, she's going to feel self-conscious and judged about doing it at home, even if Jeff says it doesn't bother him. Well, what do you think? Was her boyfriend in the right to do this, or was he completely wrong? Please let us us know. I'm really in the mood for some noodles now. I love noodles. My stepmother is a Disney classic. A bit of backstory. My dad met my stepmother shortly after my mother died. Don't feel sorry. She was a narcissist, but that's a story for another dozen or so hosts. I always knew she didn't really love me, but I was 18 and moved out shortly after and didn't really meet her that often, so it didn't bother me. She made my dad happy and we were civil. Not friends, but not enemies either, so I was fine with it. And now to the story. My dad for 2 weeks, brought my son with me. Everything
Not
seemed
the
to be
step
fine at the
feasel.
beginning. I have a half-brother who is 6. My son is 3, so they played together. There were a couple of fights, nothing major, just 2 kids having disagreements. And then, this Saturday, I went to bed early because I had a migraine, so I didn't help clean up in the evening. The house they live in isn't fully renovated yet, so there's a ventilation pipe next to the room I was staying in, through which I could hear the conversation she was having with my dad, talking about how bad of a child I was not to help clean up. My dad defended me, saying I had a migraine, so what was the big deal? She got all defensive and told my dad he didn't raise me properly. And I mean, come on, she knows what migraines are like. She has a hernia in her neck, so she gets them quite often. But I guess it's different when others are having them. I felt bad hearing that, but decided not to say anything about it, since I came to spend time with my dad and didn't want to cause problems. On Sunday, my half-brother was having a bad day, I guess, since he's usually a very bright kid. He and my son kept arguing, and I kept breaking up the arguments. My stepmother was upstairs, lying down because she wasn't feeling well. So she probably heard me and my dad having talks with my half-brother all the time. At one point, I saw him holding my son's head underneath his arm, so I reacted by exclaiming, "Half-brother, stop!" My dad saw what was happening and gave him a dressing down. At that, my stepmother stormed down and started screaming about how my son and I were a princess and a prince who couldn't do anything wrong. She took my half-brother upstairs and shut the door so hard the walls shook. A minute later, she came down and took a bowl of soup upstairs. The soup was on the counter and not on the table where the kids were sitting waiting for food and where the incident with my son and half-brother happened, which is important because a minute later she came down screaming about how my half-brother burned his hand on the soup because my dad hit him. Never happened. And the kid was nowhere near the soup. Just to clarify, there was no burn, and she didn't burn him either, if any of you were wondering. She kept screaming at my dad that he wasn't treating her son right. She kept saying her son, and telling us he could do nothing wrong, and that we were all just trying to be mean to him. And my dad tried to wait it out, and not say anything until she calmed down, so they could have a talk. But at some point, he lost his cool, and told her that he was always convinced it was their son. At that, she turned around to my half-brother, who came down the stairs and screamed, "Your dad said he's not your real daddy." At which point I saw red, because that's the same kind of tactic my mother tried to use with me when my parents were divorcing. I told her it's not okay to say something like that to a child. I would have told her exactly why, but she turned to me with an open palm ready for a strike and shouted, "Shut up, because I will mess you up if you say another word." Not an exact translation, but closest to what she actually said in my native tongue. I shut up, although I wish I hadn't, and that I'd let her get me, so that I could call the police. My dad decided to split up with her after that incident.
What do you think that shit doing?
To show the court in the custody battle about to happen.
Here at Ford, we want to say thank you to all those on the front lines. When so many rely on you, you can rely on us. Now we honor our healthcare professionals, military families, and first responders with $500 in appreciation cash.
This Labor Day, enjoy friends and family pricing on everything at Raymore and Flanagan. 15 to 20% off online and in-store. Plus, get special financing for 18 months. Only at Raymore and Flanagan's Labor Day sale.
My dad told me to let it go and went to talk to his son to assure him he loved him and Mommy didn't mean what she said. She was just angry. Basically, damage control. At this point, my son, who was eating soup at the table, 3 years old, let me remind you, and who didn't understand what was going on, decided to say, "I don't like half-brother's name." To which she shouted at him to shut his mouth, and if he didn't like him, then he could play somewhere else. I told her to never speak to my son that way again, and positioned myself between her and him. She turned and walked back upstairs. Me and my dad had a talk, and he decided to drive me and my son to his brother's place, because this was not a good environment to be at. I ended up going home a day earlier. Today I got a text from my stepmother saying she was sorry. She didn't mean any of that, but that she couldn't turn back this time. I haven't responded yet, To tell you the truth, I don't know what to tell her, or if I even want to talk to her ever again. Would I be the jerk if I refused to be part of my in-laws' family tradition? My husband and I have been together for almost 6 years, married for 3. We have a 1-year-old. I love his family. I struggle with the differences in how they treat their son, my significant other, versus their daughter, sister-in-law. Anything she wants, she gets. I don't start drama. However, I will stand up for what I think is right, and it occasionally causes tension. They have a wonderful tradition where they create a picture calendar for their grandma for Christmas. Every month highlights the people whose anniversaries or birthdays it is. The rest filled in with loving memories. Since we got married, I am now in a couple of the photos. I felt loved to have been included in such a tradition, but last year caused issues. Our son's birthday and our anniversary fall on the same month. No one else shares anything special with this month. His parents told us we could design that page with the 3 of us however we like. I choose 4 photos. One, our son was just born. One of us is a family. One of him with his great-grandma, and one of just my husband and I. We create the page and send it. We stopped by one night to continue helping them. My husband is better at doing it online than them. When I realized that sister-in-law has swapped out one of my photos for a picture of her with my son. I made a comment that that's not what we designed, and she tells me she likes it that way and wants to use that photo. At this point in time, she is in roughly 75% of the photos in the book. 12 months each, with 4 pictures per page, equals 48 photos. She is in almost 36 out of the 48. Has a whole page dedicated to just her, and a good portion of her photos are of just her. I suggest she take out her photos from a previous month and use that one instead. I then changed it back to the photo I wanted. She ushers us out for the house. Christmas comes around and the calendar is brought out. She had changed it back to the photo she wanted. I was furious, but let it go because, 1, it was for Grandma, who I adore, and 2, we didn't pay for it. His parents did, and sister-in-law chipped in a little bit. We all 3. This year, I offered to help with the calendar again, and get told she has a special idea for this year. She wants to do recreation photos. Take an older photo, and using the same people, take the photo again. I think it's a great idea, and understand that it means my son and I won't be in it. I'm sad, but still offer to help. She declines. Then I find out she wants to do half the book with special recreation. She wants to take some of Grandma's old photos and use the new generation to recreate them. I think this is great, and now my son and I can at least be in one photo. Nope, she wants to be her grandma in every shot. Wants to use my significant other as Grandma's husband, and my son as my father-in-law as a baby. They have no use for me. I mentioned this makes me upset, and I want to
He can't guard nobody.
And upon her parents pushing, she tells me that I can take the group family photos. Would I be the jerk if I tell them no? That if I can't be in it, I don't want anything to do with it? Update. Wow, this has taken off. Thanks for all the love. So a few hours after I posted, my significant other came home for lunch and inquired as to why my phone was blowing up. I told him. He was mad. Turns out sister-in-law told him a little about the ideas and that the whole family was involved. He assumed that meant me. He's now refusing to do anything unless I'm part of it, and that our son will not be in anything unless we are a part of it. Unless it's a gin pig. Said I am his most important family. Now he wants nothing to do with the calendar. I'm trying to talk him into talking to his parents first, as this is a lovely tradition. I just want to be a part of it too. How I got revenge on my realtor after I was tricked into a 1-year contract. My husband and I met with the top
You fucked up now.
popular agency had to offer. We
Hey,
saved
bring
for
that
2 years
shit in here.
to buy a home. He was confident, encouraging, and made us feel like he could
Go ahead, old head. Do your thing.
We reviewed financials with him, and he saw we each had Tier 1 credit. Both scores over 800. Plus, we had enough saved for a conventional loan. He was clearly so happy because he could smell that commission check. He brought out the contract. We discussed the buyer/agency contract, which didn't seem like a big deal because we were very serious about buying. We also knew most realtors did this, so it wasn't alarming. In case you don't know, the contract is standardly a 3-year contract stating that you will not buy/rent/lease any property without the realtor getting their fair commission. And if you go behind their back with someone else, they will be entitled to a percentage of whatever property you purchase. The clause he failed to mention/we missed, this was a 1-year contract. We weren't worried at first, because again, we were sure to be buying a property. Let me tell you, when we told him the price range we were looking, about $150,000 under what the bank approved us for, he became completely upset and defensive. Why are you dropping your standards? Don't you have any dying relatives who could co-sign so you can get the house paid off quicker? I don't want to show you houses.
Get that shit out of here, young boy!
Large commission check.
Get that shit out of here!
We continued to stay in touch because what option did we have? We were contractually committed to buying a home through him and only him for the next year. We sent him links to many houses, asking when we can see them. He would take a week or two to respond back, and when my dream home slipped through my fingers due to his delays, I had enough. I politely asked if he would relinquish us from the contract, as we clearly had different goals.
Boy,
I
please.
apologized for being upset, but I told him why. I said I didn't feel like he was making us a priority, and I would rather hire someone private. His response, well, I'll be running your financials for the next year to see if you buy/lease/rent anything. I'd reread that contract you signed and find a lawyer. Then he cut communication. I complained to the agency, and they said, try and work it out with the realtor.
Money.
When I told them I already tried, they brought up the contract. I said I was going to speak to a lawyer about the contract. They laughed and said good luck. The lawyer informed me it could drain your account going against the agency. We made the painful decision to wait him out a full year, saving a lot of money in the meantime. The contract ends, and we find our perfect first home, above the original price we were approved for, and with the most amazing realtors we have ever met. During closing day at the realtor's office, the sellers of our home used the popular agency we just escaped from. Our previous realtor watched in the hallway as we signed for a house almost $150,000 more than we would have bought from him. Exactly 1 month after our contract was up, he scrambled to find the now expired contract because he was sure that he was about to win. I know a lot of people at the office were talking about it, and our realtors let us know what had happened after we left. It made me feel good to watch the horror on his face through the conference room window as his superior told him to go home due to his frantic behavior. Apparently, he had been using company time and expenses to check on our financials weekly throughout the year in order to catch an easy check through a broken contract. There was no confrontation between us directly, but I definitely feel like we won that one. I looked on their company website, and his name has been removed from their listed agents. Speaking of dream home, what would your dream home be like? How many bedrooms would it have? And how big would it be? Please let us know. I deserve a mansion, and one day I will have it. Am I the jerk for replying to my coworkers' compliments with a negative story? Lately, I, 29 female, lost some weight, and I'm slowly exchanging my wardrobe for better fitting pieces. I work in a small office. For work, I like to dress nicely and business appropriate. There is no specific dress code. I just try to look good in my new day-to-day wear. I have a colleague, Cheryl. She's in her 50s, and we generally get along well. The annoying thing, however, is her habit of commenting on my wardrobe a lot, especially since I've started to change my style. They're not necessarily unkind comments. Sometimes it's just along the lines of,
Oh, I'm about to say, come on, high on the glass.
sometimes her comments feel backhanded. Such as one day she
that
looked at my
ad-
striped shirt and said, cute shirt, but only people with thin waists can pull off that pattern. The other day she said about my scarf, I don't really like that color on you. You usually have such good taste. I have asked her in private to stop commenting because I feel scrutinized. She said she would, but soon enough it started again. I've tried to ignore it, but to no avail.
The fuck was that? Oh, my ball.
I found myself dreading
Oh.
going to work in the morning because I knew that she'd comment on something again. Now, where I might be the jerk. The other day I was watching a documentary about classical conditioning and behavior, and I came up with the idea that if Cheryl subconsciously linked her behavior
Get off my
to a
back,
negative
Simmons.
experience/story, maybe she
Your
would
big
then
ass.
So the next morning, Cheryl made a comment about my black dress. Cheryl, all in black today? It makes you look so gloom. Me, yeah, I know. I bought this dress for my grandfather's funeral, but I think I can also wear it for work. The next week, I had on a newish pair of shoes. Cheryl, oh, new shoes. You really have a lot of shoes. Me, actually, I bought them last year to cheer myself up after I had to put my cat down. The next time she made a comment on my shirt, and that the color didn't suit me. I replied, not verbatim, yeah, my sister made it for me. I would not buy from fast fashion retailer. Not after that garment factory collapsed in Bangladesh some years ago. Over 1,000 people were inside of it. Ever since then, I've told a sad story every time my wardrobe came up. Think operations, breakups. None of these stories are made up, by the way. They're just not happy chit-chat. I feel that ever since I started my little experiment, her comments have died down. The other day, though, another coworker told me that Cheryl complained about someone in the office always being a downer and not being able to accept a genuine opinion. Now I feel like a jerk for not just sucking it up.
Oh, good day.
Cheryl has been very helpful ever since I started working there.
Good day, backboard.
Comments that drive me up the wall. Am I the jerk for replying to my coworkers' compliments with a negative story? Do people ever get on your nerves by commenting about what you're wearing? If so, what do you do about it? Please let us know. I dare you to insult my wardrobe. Woman versus mechanic.
Oh, I didn't want to shoot that with him. Oh, fuck. I thought that was McGree coming around a corner like that.
Obviously, his insurance agreed to cover all damages. From my car, which was merely 4 months old, back to the original dealership.
What are you doing?
Important for later. The repair center is right next to a big lot where they store the cars not on display. Fast forward a few weeks later, repairs were done, and they called me to come pick up the car.
Clapping on him. Clapping on him. I told you, dude. I told you. This is going to happen. What you do? You denied it.
Ma'am, with your 4 doors shut and all your windows up,
told you. They too slow. They slow. They slow. They look good on paper.
He kept trying to convince me.
But, you know, you finding it out the hard way. Let's get it. Let's go. Come on.
Saw us arguing and came over to ask what was wrong. The mechanic explained to him that I refused to accept that nothing is wrong with the door latch. The supervisor then told me I can walk around the storage lot and open some of the trunks of the same model car as mine to feel that mine works the same. He then asked the mechanic to walk with me and added, as a matter of fact, she can pop open every trunk. Malicious compliance ensues. It took a while, but I opened every trunk, and with each car the mechanic would say, "See, same as yours," and I would reply with, "No." Needless to say, after our little adventure, the mechanic was getting quite impatient with me. We walked back to the supervisor, and the mechanic annoyingly explained that I was still not convinced. The supervisor then suggests that the mechanic take apart the lock and show me the working mechanism to prove that everything is fine. From the surprised look on his face when I said yes, I believe he was expecting me to back down and just agree everything was fine. Well, with the locking mechanism exposed, the mechanic pressed the open button once, and the latch moves like normal. He looks at me with a smug face. He tried it again to prove me wrong a second time, and behold, the latch jams. He tried again a third time, and no movement. He had to jimmy it a bit in order to get it to function again. All of a sudden, he just walks off. Of course, I asked him where he's going. He turns and tells me he's going to order me a new lock. Being disgusted, I replied with, "But why do that when my 4 doors are shut?" And before I can finish, he told me to please stop. He's already doing what needs to be done. I smugly smiled, and I kept my mouth shut. Karen won't order again. Yay. There's been a Karen at the restaurant I work at, and I've been dealing with her since week 1 of the lockdown here. She was a new customer that first week. She'll order delivery once a week or so, and she always has a complaint about the food. After the first delivery, the manager said we had to take her payment over the phone, against policy unless an exception is approved by the manager, because the driver wasn't comfortable going into her house to take her payment. If I remember correctly, 1 or more members of her family were sick. She's pushed back on that a couple of times, but we always make it clear that we need to take her payment over the phone. Without fail, she always called back to complain about the food. The first couple times, she had ordered during a rush, so it wasn't unreasonable for the food to be a bit dry or something to be a bit off. She wanted the fries in a separate container so they weren't soggy. Okay, reasonable, but no need to sound so aggressive about it. Then we realized what she was doing and told the manager, as our policy is to give the customer a discount on their next order if they have a complaint about the food. This continued for a couple of orders. Then yesterday, I saw a note about the phone saying they were no longer giving this customer a discount. I verified with the manager that this was ongoing and not a one-time occurrence. My Spanish, primary language at the restaurant, is pretty weak, so I wanted to make sure I read it right. And today, the customer ordered again. It was a bit different from her usual order, and I read back the order to make sure she didn't have special instructions. Sure enough, she calls after getting the food to complain that the sandwich was dry and not on French bread. That sandwich doesn't come on French bread. It comes on sweet bread, the same name of the sandwich. And she didn't specify that she wanted French bread. I explained that management told us we wouldn't be giving her any more discounts since she had an issue with every order she placed, and she got even huffier and said she would never order from us again. I have two awesome managers, assistant managers. The main manager is usually only here for the morning shift, who are very supportive of dealing with any Karens, and they handled the situation great. We always give customers the benefit of the doubt, but if they claim something was missing that we specifically remember putting in the bag, usually an odd item, or one that had specific changes we had to verify with the runner, they've got our bag. I don't work for you, Karen, and I won't. I do a lot of work with lumber and sell the finished product.
Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty. I didn't expect all of that.
Parts, depending on the arrangements. That said, I just got
Ah, he stole one.
pickup routine, having scored a solid win with what I'll admit was a subpar retooled handicap-friendly working desk and cabinet pairing. In exchange, I got my hot little hands on ridiculously underpriced black walnut I have plans for, meaning I am having an awesome day. Cue the arrival of the Wonder Twins at my workshop door, pounding loud enough that I can hear it over my music. My shop, my rules, my pick of the tunes. I walk to the door, dressed in my flannel finery and fresh sawdust, not happy with anyone, but the select few people who know not to knock if they can hear me playing music. I don't do walk-in customers, nor allow visitors inside of the shop. Karen,
we just smutting the shit out of Wilt. Yeah, we just smutting the shit out of Wilt. Just like, stop.
Whatever.
Ah, he stole that.
Refund. Take them out immediately. No, I don't do installation or removal. That's a not me department issue.
Where you
You
going?
may leave now. Karen tries to jostle past me and get into the working area of the shop. Me. Okay, this is a language
What?
issue. See yourself out and don't come back. Like, ever. Nobody is going to be allowed inside of the shop. I demand a refund, and I will be getting my refund immediately. I'll call the police. Have at it, cowgirl. I'll be pressing charges for what it's worth. I don't know you. Karen dials her phone, ranting and raving. I lock up the shop and monitor for the duration. Karen smugly. You're gonna get arrested, you sanctimonious jerk. Sure.
Get the shit out of here. They don't have ones.
I forbid you to smoke. Yeah, not going to happen. My property, my smoking rules. Kick sand, lady. I'm thinking. I smoke, she fumes, the police arrive and park in my driveway. This doesn't bother me, as I could give a rat's stooges what my neighbors think. Karen. Arrest this man for fraud. He threatened me. Me, pointing to the cameras installed on my shop exterior, shrugging. You the cops nodding to what she's ranting about. Me retrieving the laptop from the dining room table and bringing it out to them. Me.
The shit out of here.
So,
What?
To help clear up some confusion, I can... Cops. Yes, please. Step over there, please. I oblige. They review the video. Karen suddenly changes the narrative. I'm her employee. Her husband is on his way to prove it. I stole stuff. What? I ask what it is that I purportedly stole, and for a description. None available. She's demanding access to the shop, saying she definitely saw it earlier in the day. Definitely close to her lunch break. I tell the cops to scroll back to around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then she's changing the timeline to yesterday. Again, I ask for the specific time of day. Another change of narrative. Now, I've stolen cash from her. Yeah, my patience died with that one. Me. If she can't get or keep her story straight, allow me to do so with mine. I don't know her, her husband, or their many...
Oh, good move.
I do know that she's
Good move.
in my shop, and I will be pressing charges for the attempts, plus trespassing, and being a jerk. Cops scribble their notes, take our names and details,
Money.
escort her from the property,
Oh, no.
to not make it difficult on herself by returning. And make a reasonable request that nobody presses charges,
Yep.
which is cool with me.
But not by enough.
Further discussion on the topic, and similarly obliges. I close up the shop for the night, sit on my front porch and wait. doesn't take long before her husband shows up. Not demanding a darn thing.
From what?
Just issuing well-worn apologies for his wife's behavior. We shake hands, share a few laughs, and I do indicate that I have no interest in being a part of any future direct transactions with him. I do point out where he can get more of a finished product if he's so inclined, and off he goes to a place that I do not envy. I fired the client who gave out my address to Karen, and I stated that I would not be able to fulfill any future business with them. I don't mind the loss, and can probably get a better case if I wait for it. Suffice to say, it's not been a good day so far, on the average.
Damn, son, you only got 3 time miles. You eat them just like Tic Tacs. Oh man, I told you, man. I'm telling you, I'll try to run with them multiple times, and they let me down every time, man. I told you this, man. I was just telling you not to get the 6s. I wasn't scared. I'm just telling you, like, dude, they suck. You got to know how to use them. I don't know how to use them. I can't get Doc going, but whatever.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy a few hours of the most entitled parents you've ever heard of. And by the way, Sharon assured me that if this video gets 1,000 likes, she won't try to speak to anyone's manager for an entire week. So please smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. And become an official member of the Re-Army today, and I'll give you a shout out in an upcoming video. r/entitled parents. You can't stop stupid. 3. Roll for initiatives. From user D Fatman. It's a whale. No, it's a plane. No, it's your favorite Re-Army security guard here, D Fatman, with another set of stories of the entitled variety. As normal, my previous warning still applies, and my previous stories will be linked at the bottom. A quick warning, this post has a very painful point, so reader's discretion is advised. Let's jump right into it. Now, let me start with a little needed context.
Seth's got eating the shit out there. You got that. He ain't gonna make that twice if I leave him moving, and I'm gonna leave him moving.
These stories kind of revolve around, as well as this all happens at the
Oh, he returned the favor. Here I come. Here I come. Ah, I jumped too early.
For the sake of these stories, we'll call the place the Game Station, which obviously isn't the name of said place.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? 710.
Now, during this time, I had just freshly turned 18 before this summer, so I was
Give me the ball, Spolstra.
During all of this. Well, during most of this summer, me and a group of friends would go to the Game Station to hang out and play games. Mostly to play Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D for short. For those that wonder, I would play either a barbarian or a bard. The latter because I like telling stories of old campaigns. Well, during this time, we had a bit of an issue with another customer of the Game Station, a little entitled kid, which, for the sake of the story, I shall call him Piglet. Namely for a few facts. 1, he would snort when he would laugh, like a hog, sort of. 2,
what do you got, 1 point?
Quote Piglet from Winnie the Pooh with, "Oh dear." No, normally I don't mind little kids, as I'm very protective when it comes to them, especially if they're being bullied. Mostly coming from having been in their shoes, and knowing when a big kid or a guy was on your side was a big bit of support. But in Piglet's case, he would abuse this to the point that he had some large guys on his side and would use them to muscle his way into other people's account.
Nice way to take it to the opposite side. He wasn't standing on. You know what I'm saying?
Up his account's time to play.
What you doing?
Owners would side on the kid's side mostly because there is no proof. But after
I tell you, a gift and a curse.
this as it had happened so often. But finally, this was put to an end when Piglet would try to accuse me of doing it. But one small problem. I had been there long before Piglet even arrived that day, and he would do it right when he gets there, seeing how much time I had. Mostly because
I keep jumping too early.
Guy, and would help troubleshoot some of their problems when something caused a computer to freak out. So instead of paying me, they would credit my account with free time. So I had no reason to play.
I knew that was gonna get blocked. He took too fucking
I
long.
had plenty to use for myself, and even some days I wouldn't even play on the computer because I was more there to play on the TV. Sadly, those two weren't even safe from Piglet. When it comes to playing on the TV, as long as no one else wants to play, you would be allowed to play a one-player game. But as soon as other people want to play, it had to do one of two things. Either share the game or switch to a multiplayer game, which most times it was either DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, or Super Smash Brothers. I don't remember which version it was at the time. Piglet was the worst kind of player. Either overly mouthy if he was winning, or would throw the controller if he lost. I had to replace a few of my controllers because of the latter. But tabletop was the worst when it comes to Piglet's annoyance. Now, the only game we would play tabletop-wise was Dungeons & Dragons, and we had a drawing race mat and figurines. Mostly cheap ones, but we liked our figurines, and we had a few of them just disappear on us. Even this larger figurine was a dragon that one of the other players had made themselves, and I will admit, it looked pretty awesome. If it wasn't that, then it would be Piglet's snorting fit when we wouldn't let him play with us. Mostly because we know of how he acts when playing a video game, and we were not having that when we were
shit.
Mostly
Nice way to rattle that home.
Piglet war stories, and just wanted to avoid it. Sadly, we couldn't go to anyone's house to play, so this was our only option to play some semi-peace. That
Kaden!
a bottomless cup for the foundation was a bit of an added bonus. The first night, when all this came to a head, was like I said something in the middle of summer.
Your mom still got that Bobby Hurley jersey?
Mostly because we had a large dungeon in front of us, and sometimes it sucks stopping in the middle of one. We started right when the place opened up around
your mom still got them Marcus Hill slip shoes. Remember the ball? Marcus, I forget his last. I can't pronounce his last name. Hill slip.
It happens. And I, mostly because the game station didn't have enough chairs for everyone. Partly because another group took most of them for a little gaming marathon that they had gotten the okay from the owner. So this time we had a cooler with mostly snacks, so none of us had to make a run to the local convenience store that was just down the strip mall from where we were. So everyone was sitting higher up in the table, when I was closer to being eye level with it. It was a tall folding table, and even with me being a big tall man, just made me look like Kilroy. When Piglet walked in with his mother of all people, a woman that looked like an old school entitled woman from, I would say, the 60s or 70s. Hard to tell, but she looked just like a walking pain about to happen. For the sake of the story, let's call her Miss Piggy. When Piglet noticed this, he rushed over with his standard begging. Let me play, let me play, let me play. He would continue to say this over and over again, till someone said something to him, which most of the time was, shut up. But not in this case. Our dungeon master for this campaign was
Who
not
was that?
any of this. For this story, let's call him Mark. Mostly because he's a large fan of Markiplier. Later down the line, even getting himself a pink mustache. But I digress. Not today, Piglet. Go bother someone else. But why not? He then squealed closer to a reed when he wasn't getting his way. Because of that right there. Now leave us alone.
Whoa, what was over the back at?
This got Piglet to let out a loud squeal at this. Mommy! This got the attention of Miss Piggy, who, from what I had to guess,
I needed that, Francis. Good dick, Francis. Usually you let me down, you fucking crazy bitch.
These people won't let me play their
What is he doing?
game with them.
What is he doing?
This got his mother to look
This nigga trying to drive to the basket with Hershey Hawkins.
Let my handsome little son play your little game. Aren't you all too old to be playing games? This got our friend Jeff to chime in. Now Jeff can and will be a jerk to anyone that annoys him. Jeff, aren't you too old to butt into other people's lives?
Too small.
How dare you talk to me like that? You should respect your elders. I say, and you should respect other people's wishes. But here we are. This got Miss Piggy to look at me, who was sitting low to the ground and mostly hidden by the table. Why don't you say that to my face?
Ah, good thing.
Okay. I stood up and walked around and stood right next to her. Now, even while I was at school, I was a tall guy, still about 6 foot-ish around this time, and this woman was
Let's put this lead back up. Let's put boot back the neck.
To be sure, and frankly didn't care.
He restraining.
As I said, you
I got footage.
people's wishes.
I got it on body cam.
It looks like someone needs to lose a few pounds, and someone needs to get a few brains.
I ain't even smoke a whole L fucking with you. Shit, you would have. I'm surprised you ain't paused the game 3-4 times just to roll up after this beat down.
So I was well versed.
You was close.
Do you know who my husband is? Oh,
I don't know what kind of run you think you going on, but whatever. Cause you got.
right now for
I don't know what kind of run you think you about to go on.
After you apologize for interrupting our game of Dungeons and Dragons. As soon as that left my mouth, something changed in Miss Piggy's demeanor.
How many boards Simmons got? I mean, Embiid got. Not enough.
Dungeons and Dragons? Like that's a cold game? I just gave her a flat look. Everyone should have known at this point that Dungeons and Dragons was not a cold game.
You might as well put Mike Jaminski in.
Broken down, all it is just math.
I wasn't even on a hand controller and that shit stole the ball.
It is fine. It wasn't like
Let me get some of this.
or anything of that sort. No, it's just a tabletop role-playing game. I don't want to hear your lies. Piglet, let's go. I don't want you anywhere near these people. We all watched as Miss Piggy grabbed her son's arm and dragged him out of the game station. After that, I sat down and we went back to our game. We did crack a few jokes later down the line, and even told the owners after they asked what happened. They got a kick out of it after facepalming at how stupid Miss Piggy was.
Fuck this shot up.
This wasn't the end of this. A few days later, the group of us met up again, and we were playing on the TV. Most of us were playing DDR Mario Mix at the game, so we were working up a bit of a sweat. Mostly, this allowed people, after doing a song or two, to sit down and let the next person play. Now, on Mario Mix, I could easily do super hard mode and only miss a note or two. I'm not a dancer, but I can at least do my best. After doing one of my favorite songs and worked up a pretty heavy sweat, so much so I had to clean the sweat from my eyes, which required me to take my glasses off to do so. For those wondering, I'm nearsighted, which means I can see things close to me, but not far away. After I sat down to give my legs a bit of a break and to catch my breath, I felt a tap on my shoulder. At first, I thought it was one of my friends to ask me something personal. Now, this wasn't anything new to me, as I tend to be a great listener for my friends, and often would try to give advice to help them out. Sadly, this wasn't a friend. This was Miss Piggy, and right when I turned, she gave me a face full of mace. Let me state this as clear as I can. Mace really burns. As soon as it hit my face, I began to scream in pain. I will admit, I didn't hear what happened next, but was told this next bit later after they helped me clean up and try to deal with it as best I can, even going as far as to make a run to the store for some milk. But from what I was told, my friends took direct action. Both Mark and Jeff jumped on Miss Piggy and pinned her to the ground, making sure the mace was out of her hands. All while a friend that I will call Ginny took me to the bathroom to try and clear it up as a fourth friend ran to tell the owners, and then go get the milk. Why did you do that to him? He yelled at her. You jerks deserve much worse. Let me go. God knows I'm right. Jeff. Got a crazy one. Someone called the cops. The owner.
Yeah, that was funny as shit, cut.
Crazy, you just mixed our friend. Let me
Oh, that was fucking hilarious. He said everything fucking falls. Oh man, my stomach hurt. Oh, I knew I was gonna get a 3 seconds. It's better than Tom Woods. Oh, that was.
As it goes to show you, you can't stop stupid.
Hey man, I found my stroke.
Of the crazy ones out there. So thank you for taking the time to read this. And Mr. Reddit, if you're reading this, thank you for reading my previous stories and this one. And I hope you're having a nice day. Thank you for reading. Hope you enjoy. Editor's note. Waves frantically. Hi, YouTube. Next we've got... So what if you have social anxiety? I need to have my friends over. Entitled Roommate Story. I was reminded that I meant to post this after I moved out of my old place, but never got around to it. After you read a story about a sloppy roommate making their roommate sick and not caring. So here it is. I'm not on mobile, and I majored in English in college, so I have no excuses for bad formatting or grammar. Also, this story takes place over the course of 11 months or so this will not have very much dialogue. When I got my first place of my own, it was an apartment I shared with 2 other people, who we'll call Roommate 1 and Roommate 2. This is mainly about Roommate 1. Decided that...
You might as well think about your next coaching job tomorrow. Oh man. Oh man. I got tears coming out my fucking eyes. Oh man.
My protests about the rooming together were ignored, however, and we signed a year-long lease and moved in. Before we moved, my mom told me if roommating
It's putting all kinds of tall salad in your face.
that was developed over years of working at this job straight out of high school, and due to me being the odd duck and it being a small
Alright, back up, y'all. Get a nigga some breathing room. He can't take the pressure.
less than 500 kids K through 12. I didn't have any friends there. My mom once said that for all the social development I got going to public school, she'd rather have homeschooled me and saved me the stress. It's also important to know that roommate 1 was the most...
Oh, I'm trying to score 13 points in
They couldn't stand
12 seconds.
ever being alone and wanted company all the time. The direct opposite of me, who would likely be the world's happiest hermit if I was ever given the chance. Now, for the beginning of the year. A week or 2 after we moved in, roommate 1 started to bring their friends over every weekend to hang out at our apartment. Since my social anxiety is mainly triggered by having too many people in a confined space, or too many people too close to me, having even 1 or 2 people was overwhelming for me, and they were bringing them over every weekend in groups of 3 or 4. When roommate 1 did this, I would go to my room and hide until they left, as well as the visitors would stay until 11 or later most weekends.
Oh, I hit that ball.
A week off from my job, as I worked all the time in 5 8-hour shifts. So roommate 1 having people over every weekend was making me spend one of my days off hiding in my own apartment. I never thought of it as a home for 6 to over 8 hours because they had to have people around all the time. It got to the point that if someone was there that I didn't know, I became physically incapable of leaving my room at all. All I could do was curl up on my bed with my headphones on and hope that they left in time that I could go get food or go to the bathroom. After came up with what I thought was a reasonable.
Get the fuck out of here. Got that teacup shit in there.
To have visitors at the apartment, and one weekend we would do the major cleaning. And if the person who had that weekend for visitors didn't want to bring any over, no one else could either. Roommate 1 could still hang out with their friends, but they couldn't bring them back to the apartment, and I would get some much-needed recovery time. But when I proposed this plan, all Roommate 1 had to say was, "You shouldn't make rules that target me. It's not fair. I have to be able to have my friends over." When I point out they can still hang out with their friends, just not at the apartment, because it's causing me issues with my social anxiety, they still say it isn't fair and refuse to go along with the plan, instead insisting they be allowed visitors twice a month. Whatever, it's better than nothing. They have also agreed to a no visitors any later than 10 rule as well. Classes started back up, and mercifully the visits stopped, though I still had trouble leaving my room if either of my roommates were there and awake. But I slowly started to calm down. Each day at work, I seriously considered not going back, but things seemed to be getting better. We even had new neighbors move into the apartment below us, which is important. Then, one day, about 4 months later, before the lease is up, on my day off, bam! Roommate 2 tells me that Roommate 1 just texted them about bringing people back to the apartment right that moment. I launched into a near panic attack, cursing and gathering my stuff and getting into my room with the door locked just in time to hear the apartment door open and about 6 people enter the apartment. I'm curled up on my bed, headphones on, trying not to cry as they are being so loud I can hear them through my headphones. They are there well past 11, and I have to work the next day. But roommate 1
Oh man, handing out old fashions. Took him out to the shed.
and started an earnest search
Gave him a whipping.
for the apartment. And I tell my roommates that they can only have visitors.
I told you don't bring that bullshit in here. I tried to warn you. I was telling this motherfucker all day. He just kept looking at me. Had everybody thinking I was crazy. Look what happened. This is what I thought.
Before I go to work, not 2 weeks later. This pattern continues. Roommate 1 bringing people over early, or having them still
Let's see
there
what the
when I
stats look like. Shit, not for you. Not with the Sixers, you ain't.
go into the apartment. Finally, after 11 months of this, with my meager social tolerance completely shredded,
Damn.
I move into
Iverson, you ain't. Yo, nobody scored 20 points.
I doubt I'll ever trust roommates again.
Cheeks had 3, Iverson had 19, Julius had 12, Moses had 2, and Will had 16. Let me see, rebound. Will did bring some Windex.
Greetings, Mr. Reddit.
Dude, you alright?
Yeah, 21 boards, 3 assists, 1 block. Iverson kills you, 8 for 24.
I'm horrible with spelling, but good things
Wilt was killing you, 8 for 15. Shit, Malone, 1 for 5. Cheeks, 1 for 4.
fake names to protect their identity. And now the story.
Let's see what mine look like. Okay, Harden, 24 points. Gravy, 23. Drexler, Dom. Olajuwon, 11. My bad, man. You only got 4 points.
The entitled son. We have Rebecca.
Shit, you out rebounded me though. I can't say that.
Saved me. A bit of background. I was a big Legend of
Had
Zelda
more
fan.
assists than
I
me.
bought every game
Damn, I had
possible
20
and
fucking
hosted a fan
steals.
club at my school.
That's what killed you.
For my 15th birthday, my parents bought me the entire
And blocks, I had 11 blocks.
collection. For anybody who doesn't know what manga is, it's Japanese style comics. And no, I'm not a weeb. On June 12th, Drake and I went to E3 convention. I always take my Nintendo Switch, a manga book.
What the
and
fuck
some
is
money.
PF?
Important later. And now, on to the story.
No,
Personal
instead.
files?
Yeah, personal. Okay, personal files. Yeah.
We were sitting on the bench reading my manga book of Legend of Zelda 4 Swords when I see Junior, who's around 7 to 8. looking at the book. What are you reading?
Ah,
Drake.
man.
We're reading Legend of Zelda.
We ain't
4
playing 10 minutes
Swords.
this time.
Wow. Can I read it? Me.
old-fashioned
She was a
aid.
typical style Karen. A lady in her 30s. Very
Get
short
your
and
motherfucking,
overweight. It was easier to go over her than around her. Junior, where are you?
get your
Come
pride
here
back,
so we can go
even
home.
though you won't.
Come on. I want to keep reading the
I guess I'll smash you with
It's a
the
manga
same
book,
squad to
you
you.
uncultured brat. Don't worry, Junior. Is that the book you want to read? Points at my book. Yes. Karen tells me, Seth, give your book to Junior. Wait, what? What you heard?
Oh, I thought I was about to say, boy, please. This will be over by first quarter. Second quarter, you'll be quitting.
I'm 15, and I got this manga book for my birthday. I don't care how old you are or how you got it. Just give it to me, Drake. Lady, this is Seth's book.
There you go,
I
El
don't care
Gauskas.
whose it is. Just give Junior the
You
darn
got some Brad.
You
Yeah,
can buy the
no,
collection
please, you
online
kidding
for
me?
$50. I don't have enough money to buy that stuff.
That'll just be a pawn in my game.
That was BS. She was wearing a purse that
Well, that
looked
might.
like it was worth
I don't know about that
$250.
bird that power
She was
forward though,
also
but
using an
that'll work.
iPhone
You got enough
6S.
shooting power. You got enough
Drake
offense on there.
also
Shit.
She was wearing Gucci. Me? Karen, if you have enough money to buy all that stuff, why can't you afford just a $50 manga collection? Karen sputtering. Well, insert that classic read. Just give me that book, Drake. Whoa, lady, you need to watch your mouth. You got kids in
Why
front
don't you
of
bring them Orlando Magics in here?
Raise my kids. Mommy, I want that book.
Shit.
Don't worry,
Oh
Junior.
yeah, you
Mommy
right.
is working
Yeah.
on it. Give me that book. Just at that moment, our Uber arrives. Me and Drake just walk away, while Karen follows us and
They bench
yells
is trash.
nonsense about Junior deserves that book better than you, and I'm your elder, and you should respect me. And my personal favorite,
Oh, you
besides,
switched them two. You
probably
might
don't
have
even
something
know
there,
how to
son.
read. Drake
You switch Kareem and Shaq, you might have something there, son. But I doubt it.
and rolls down the window. Rebecca, is there a problem, Karen? Are you the mother of these
You probably got more Hall of Famers on your bench than I
I'm
do.
just the Uber driver for them. Karen looks
But
at
whatever.
Rebecca and then looks at my bag. What do you got in the bag? My manga book, Nintendo Switch, and $100. Give it to me, and let me use your Uber. What the what, lady?
Oh, you're gonna be twice as pissed with this one.
Because you wouldn't give my son your comic book. Drake.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear about the second one
It's
too.
Seth's manga book, and he decides who reads it and who doesn't. Rebecca. Seth, get in. But Karen's hand was holding it open and
Oh, and we got the Toyota Centaur.
No, now you're mine.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Karen refused and attempted to pull me out of the car. Rebecca stomps on the
Let me get that Shaq.
leaving Karen falling flat on the face. I close the door and buckle my seatbelt, then look back and see Karen chasing us.
Ah,
Good
yeah.
luck on catching us. Drake tagged along, opened the window, and yelled, "You better start rolling if you want to catch up to us." Remember, I said she was pretty big. We close the windows and start to relax. What's with that woman? Karen tried to take my manga book, and then she tried to take everything from me. She looked like she was ready to rip your head off, Seth. Rebecca. Luckily, I came to the rescue. We both tell her thanks. Don't mention it. Just try to learn how to deal with them. Rebecca dropped Drake and I off at the convention, and we started to have fun. Up to this day, Drake and I are talking about the encounter with the wild cat.
Ah, good shit,
If you ever want to
beard.
read my story, any grammar, punctuation, or weird formatting, please feel free to tell me. And Mr. Reddit, if there's a possibility my story ends up in one of your videos, please put the link in the comments. Next we've got My Entitled Family, Part 8000. JK. So I posted before, always about the same family. the obligatory stuff out of the way. I'm on mobile since my entitled mom took my old computer and never gave it back. A different story, a little posed if asked. I'm a first-generation immigrant, meaning I came here within my own life.
Yeah, all in your shit.
My first language. Background. If you don't know, I'm adopted into a Swedish family. This family took me back to America. This family, after the passing of one of my sisters, blocked out Sweden. We don't talk about Sweden. We don't think about Sweden. We don't go back to Sweden. That means no more sister. They literally stopped talking about her. I never received counseling for the PTSD of being
I'll take that.
when it happened. I still, nearly 10 years later, blame myself. Yet, no counseling. In this family,
I'll
there's
take
me,
that.
my entitled mom, Karen, my entitled sister, Rachel, my weird dad, Gary, and a few other people who all match the entitled theme, except a few. I personally have a long list of mental health problems and medical from the car accident. Now, on to the story. I am, at the time, 18. It's my birthday. This all happened a few days ago, so I'm 19 now. I tend to celebrate early to make it easier, since my birthday is usually on a weekend. I felt I could just go on a small date with my boyfriend and enjoy
I'll take that.
Boy, was
I'll take that. Send his ass to the lawn. Look, he's like, fuck.
Thinking it'd be a happy birthday call, I answered. She instantly starts going off.
Oh, yeah. Missing all that money.
Because she was speaking so loud. Here's how it all
Look, dude, start missing both of them.
little
The fuck?
you spent your
This
money.
one-for-one shit pissing me off.
Yes. I earned the money, and it's not
What are you doing?
How
The fuck is you doing?
I'm your mother.
Your big ass can't stick. You too slow.
I raised you. Besides, how are you ever going to pay us back if you keep spending money on worthless things? Pay you back for what? Raising you, of course. Don't you know how expensive doctor visits are? You made us pay for so long. You owe us.
Why would you do that?
You're my parents. That's just part of having kids. At this point, her yelling had scared me into PTSD of her many years of screaming at me and the way she had treated me. I started tearing up.
That's right. That's right, huh?
Having said my
Stop all that shit.
and he was mad. Now my mom is extremely protective and doesn't let things slide when it comes to people messing with me. Listen, Karen, it's your son's birthday. Not only is this not the time to do this, but you're hurting him. It's his money, not yours. Never has been. And to get into it,
Man, what that fucking mean? He just got his ass kicked.
he's locked
He
out
gonna
of
get
his
his ass
accounts.
kicked on another team?
How'd you get in? How dare you? She's my daughter, and I refuse to be spoken to this way. I deserve her money. He's a boy. Respect that, you loud jerk. She went silent. She could never win against
He probably got Glenn Rice on the bench.
infuriated her so much. This was when we heard a loud shuffling.
I doubt it,
Dad
but whatever.
took the phone. He's not entitled, just off. He's like a more expressive Jamie from Mythbusters. He took the phone, sounding tired and exhausted. Weird Dad. Hello, is this OP? No. Karen scared him a lot, so I took the phone. It's boyfriend. Weird Dad. Okay, hi. She broke into my bank. His English is much rustier than mine or my mom's. And look at your funds. Please forgive her. She just wanted a facial. Boyfriend. Like the spa treatment? She did all this BS over a spa treatment? Yeah, she said she's stressed. He said this in a way that sounded like it was on the same level of boys will be boys, according to my boyfriend. My boyfriend asked them not to call until later when we got home, and then hung up, comforting me and taking me to a more secluded area to help me calm down. We had a good rest of the day until I got a notification. My dad sent me money over PayPal, the only thing he has access to besides my actual account, with the note, let's just move past this. Apparently, they see $500 as an apology. Thanks for a new game, Karen. ask questions, ask away. I have over 18 years of stories. All names are changed, and I'm honestly sorry if I spelled things wrong or something. Thanks for reading. Next we've got... No, I won't stop using the thing that keeps me alive to avoid upsetting your kid.
Oh, good dig.
I have to say,
Good dig, y'all.
long-time lurker, English is my first language, but on mobile. Here's some quick backstory. Just this past November, I was diagnosed with a very rare genetic liver disease.
I'll take that. Good dig.
My lungs. Because of this, I need a liver transplant. But until then, I also need to be on oxygen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, that nigga making all kinds of
About
crazy
2 weeks
passes.
ago, I had a doctor's appointment. This happened while my husband was signing me in, and I sat down. I had this thing that is sort of like a walker with wheels, and sort of folds down.
Well, I'm pretty sure, yeah, your brothers should be Hall of Famers then.
Most people who use this
Worthy.
product. While I was waiting for my husband to get me signed in, I was taking deep breaths through my nose, trying to get my breathing relaxed and oxygen flowing.
Jerry
I get
West,
out of breath very
Halvard.
quickly.
Yeah, hey, I forgot about Elgin Bill, alright.
Looking at me, and I smiled. She was sitting beside her
You
mother.
gonna need every bit
She
of that.
whispered something into her mother's ear. Her mother, the entitled mother, listened to her daughter and then looked at me. Can you please take that thing off your face? It's upsetting my daughter. No. Well, it's disturbing and it's ugly. Why do you even have that?
That's where they get that separation from his big ass.
It's oxygen. I need it. No one needs that. Taking a deep breath. Plenty of oxygen right here in this room. How nice of you that you have functioning lungs. We don't all have that luck. I can't breathe
give me that.
on this. It's just a crutch. Or you're using it for attention. I went to say something, but a nice man sitting 2 seats down from me spoke up. He will be nice again. Lady, when she walked in here, she was breathing so hard that before I saw her, I thought she had
good
to have been
hand.
a 600-pound man making his way over here. When I saw her, she was whiter than a sheet. She is now getting some color back.
Oh, good
She
hand.
needs that oxygen. But it's traumatizing my daughter.
3 seconds?
She shouldn't leave the house
No.
if she has to wear that. Lady, it's a doctor's office. You and your kid are going to see sick people here. Anyway, it looked like your daughter was more curious than traumatized. This would be a good teaching moment for you to explain that sometimes people get sick and need that stuff. But, nice man cuts her off. Lady, she can sit there with oxygen, or take it off and not be able to breathe. What do you think would be more traumatizing for your kid? Explaining how sometimes
Come on, old head.
you need to use oxygen, or having your kid watch a young woman not be able to breathe. My husband came back and thanked the guy and shook his hand. Then the nurse called me back. I have not seen that entitled mom since, but I have other entitled mom run-ins if anyone is interested. And our final story of the day. Entitled mom wanted my e-scooter so her kid could play on it. This happened about a month ago, and I don't really have the best memory, so I'll try my best to describe detail. The kid that belongs to this entitled mom is actually really sweet, and was probably like 6. He did nothing wrong, so he's named Sweet Boy. Little backstory. I was at a Target. My mom brought me there, but she left me to do my own thing. I had ankle surgery not too long ago before this event happened, and was not allowed to walk on my foot. If I put weight on it, it hurted anyway. I was zooming my way around the store. It's really fun to do that.
Buddy, come
My
on, you
e-scooter
finish up.
goes really fast. Just can't turn corners
What the
fast.
fuck was that?
Learned that the hard way. Heading to my favorite section of Target. The
Oh, nice way to stop that.
section. I loved to look around at the new technology and see what they have, whilst comparing other tablets and phones to others, including my phone. I was just browsing at this point, entertaining myself at the goods the Target had to offer, even though I wasn't buying anything because I couldn't afford anything expensive. I can't do my job as a lifeguard because of my foot. Later on, after looking at every single possible electronic in the store,
Dude, what, you fell in?
to the Pokemon cards. No, that there were a heck
Kaden.
of kids around for some
Come
odd
on.
reason. Maybe because it was the weekend. I don't know. But these things and video games are really the only things I can do with my life. I'm restricted to not moving around all that much, and I cannot do the sports I love, which is water polo, swim team, and marching band. I zoomed past Sweet Boy, and I noticed as I rolled by him, he wouldn't take his eyes off my clearly fashionable knee scooter. I went up to the beautiful array of Pokemon cards, got up as close as I could, and parked my scooter. Has night brakes to prevent it from moving. Mind you, I still had my bad leg on my
Fucking G-Dog.
since putting 0.1% of my weight will set off my ankle. I was there for quite a while.
Good call, Rush.
Sure, I'm making a smart choice of buying something I wanted when I felt my scooter nudge forward just a bit. I looked down to see Sweet Boy trying to go onto my scooter. I politely asked him to get off my scooter, as I needed to get around safely and without pain. He had this disappointed look on his face, but understood and got off. I
Kaden.
thought that was the end of it.
Don't
So
make me
I
say it
continued
again.
browsing through the options of cards that were in front of me. But not even 30 seconds later, I heard the call of the entitled mom. She must have heard me say no to her precious baby. Ahem. I ignore her because I thought it wasn't directed toward me. Ahem. I turn around, completely confused as to what in the world is going on. Why won't you let my kid ride your scooter? I see Sweet Boy behind his mother, looking like he just wanted to fade away and not be in this argument. Because I needed to get around, I can't walk. It's bad for my ankle, and she cuts me off. Oh, please. I've seen people walk around in the same kind of
Shit out of
you're
here.
in. You should be able to walk. And let my boy ride your scooter.
Get the shit out of here. Get this shit out of here. Get that shit. No, no.
The hospital gave me this scooter for me to use even before my surgery. Then why do I see those scooters everywhere? You can easily buy one off Amazon or eBay. I've had enough of her crap. Then why don't you do that? I'm not made of money. And if your kid breaks this thing, I have no way of moving anywhere unless someone carries me. You clearly are made of money. With your scooter and purse and your clothing. I bet you it won't even cost that much money to buy one of these things in the first place. So, let my son play on it. At this point, the Sweet Boy has gone so deathly
I
quiet.
needed that.
I feel bad for the poor guy. He didn't want to be involved, and I don't blame him. Making my tone serious. Lady, I don't have a job because of my foot. My parents are already splurging a lot of money for my medical bills. I'm not going to make them spend even more money on me just because your kid wants to play on this toy that helps me move around the store. But I've already talked to your kid too. He understands my requests for him not to get on my scooter and play on it. But, in a harsh tone, don't say any more to me. You do not have the right to take away a disabled person's way of transportation just because your kid wants it. That's not how life works. Maybe you should go home and get a reality check before you show your face here again. Entitled Mom was dead silent. A little after, she grabbed Sweet Boy by the arm and started dragging him away as he gave me this look like he felt bad for me. As this was a couple of months ago, my foot has been doing just fine, with no complications. I can walk, but I cannot go back to my job of lifeguarding soon. For those who are wondering about my surgery, I unfortunately forgot the name of the surgery, but it was something I was born with. I had an extra bone in my ankle that grew and hardened as I aged, and over time dislocated one of my tendons, slowly making the arch of my foot non-existent. I had a screw implanted in my foot to keep the tendon in its place, and got the bone removed. Entitled Mom demands game. Then she demands my game. Oh boy, what a day
Kaden!
I had.
Now!
I have an entitled parent story for you.
Get out of the bathroom!
Backstory. Madden 20 came out on July 31st at GameStop if you pre-ordered it. I have the Superstar Edition. I'm also a 32-year-old guy who is a gamer at heart. No, I don't live with my mom. I'm happily married, I have a 2-year-old, and I work 60 plus hours a week. Gas.
Not slow on the D.
Mad extraordinaire. We've got GameStop worker. We've got entitled mother. We've got nice kid, not entitled. On to the meat and potatoes of the story.
Don't do
I
it.
just got off of work at 11 a.m. after working a 12-hour shift. I decided to drive to my local GameStop to pick up my order of Madden 20. I went in and it was completely empty, except the worker who I found out later was the store manager. So I went up to him, showed my receipt I have that proves I pre-ordered my copy. As I'm talking to the GameStop worker, in waddles our entitled mom with her kid, who looks like he was around 12. She had the look of a Karen, and I swear...
Oh no! Come on. That was a clean pickpocket. He ain't even feel the wallet being taken.
Yes, I want to get that new football game you have. Worker says, okay, ma'am, you will have to wait your turn, as I'm dealing with this gentleman. I don't care. You take care of me first. Now! I tell the worker, it's okay, go ahead. Entitled mom tells me very snobbishly, good. You look too old to be playing video games anyways, boy. I think you should give me your game for free. Video games rot the mind, and it is the devil's lair. Nice kid tells his mom, Mom, please don't do this again. Shut up, son. You want your darn game, and you will get your darn game. This man has it. Then she looks at me, and before she says anything, I said, why should I give my game up to you after I worked and paid for it with my hard-earned money? Furthermore, if it is the devil's lair and rots the mind, then why aren't you giving it to your son? Because my son is a good kid and gets good grades in school this week. He's in school, then he is in summer school, which means he didn't do good in school. Sorry, try again. It's his birthday! Okay, even if it is his birthday, I don't know him from Adam. Entitled mom started getting louder towards me. Just give me the game now, boy! Don't call me boy. Don't tell me what to do. Do you know who I am? I don't care if you are Mother Teresa. There is no way you will get this game from me. Worker says, both of you, calm down. Ma'am, you need to leave now. Sir, here's your game. I'm sorry for... GameStop worker gets cut off. I want to see your manager.
I want to see your manager.
And says to entitled mom, ma'am, I am the manager. As far as I'm concerned, you will not get this game. And furthermore, you are banned from this establishment. So I advise you to leave these premises, or I'll call the authorities on you. Do I make myself clear? Entitled mom was standing there, white as a ghost, and trying to make a good comeback.
Come on, man, hurry up, man. I got shit to do. I got other people to beat down.
I'm sorry for everything, you guys.
Oh, my board.
Ah. Don't grow up to be like your mom. Entitled mom got her nerve again.
Money.
Tell my boy what to do. You dare! I'll sue you for this.
You poked the wrong bear tonight, son.
That's it. I warned you. I'm calling them now. Entitled mom tries to take my game, but I'm way too quick for her. Help! Help! He's robbed me and hurt me. I'm laughing so hard it hurt at the time. You have to
My board.
3 to get out. I'll sue you for this. Both of you. Good luck. She grabs her kid and ran out. Me and the GameStop
Oh, good move. Nice way to wrap that around him.
And started talking about the game. I went home, played.
It don't matter. He losing anyway, so you can go past.
First overall by the Dolphins. Oh, and if anyone wants to use this on YouTube, they have my full permission. Next we've got...
Shoot a Shaq.
Lady thinks I'm a pushover. Gets pushed out of the spa. Hi, Reddit. This is my first post, but not my first experience meeting or dealing with entitled people. I'm on mobile, so forgive any spelling errors. The phone sometimes does not catch up to my brain or fingers and autocorrects, so please let me know if I can do better in my posts. A little backstory. My family travels and works internationally, but I am the only one that stays in the States to work domestically.
Good hand,
I work at a
Drex.
financial firm and am almost
Good
constantly
hand.
working overtime. As such, my mom and I got a great deal on a spa near our house that has all the features we need to relax. Sauna, steam.
Oh no, they wouldn't let me get in there and block that. Because I damn sure stuffed that bird.
We'll get lots of events from weddings to bachelorette parties to birthdays. And as a member
Good call, Ruff. What the fuck is he
of the
doing?
last 3 years now, I have gotten to know the people who work there and try to frequently go to take advantage of quiet relaxation after a long day of work. Trust me, I'm not the entitled person in this story. The cast is me, yours truly, the marshmallow enigma, entitled woman who's never respected another human being in her life, I suspect. We've got
My bad, coach. I don't never have it again.
not as entitled. And we've got the spa attendant. After working a 4-hour overtime stint every day for the past week, I went to the spa, do a face mask, take a nap, and shower before heading home to fix dinner for my mother. I get my things from the locker. My robe, face mask.
Alright, you shrinking the lead a little bit.
Lay on one of the 2 beds in the jacuzzi area. One of the beds had another woman relaxing in it, so I took the other bed and reserved it by putting my stuff down. I jumped in the jacuzzi and relaxed in the hot water for a good 5 minutes.
6 blocks. I need more. More. How do you like? Oh shit! They put the big man back in.
And try to relax in the water, but something in the back of my head nags at me
My board.
to watch her.
Ah, give me that.
After a brief talk with
We
her
out.
friend, she looks to the bed with my stuff on it. Without calling out to ask whose items are on the bed, or gently move the items off to the side table nearby, what does she do? She pushes my stuff onto the floor. My iPhone, in its clunky protective case, clatters to the tile floor, making a resounding crash in the empty room. I stare horrified at her. My phone was inches from the jacuzzi when it clattered down and stopped. I was so scared it would fall in the water. I get up out of the jacuzzi, towel off, and grab my phone to make sure it was okay. Everything was working, and there were no cracks, so I was thankful, but still livid at her audacity. As I got closer to pick
Come on,
up
y'all.
my
He actually
stuff
think he gonna come back.
I noticed that she was sitting
That's the way he
up
keep
straight
talking.
and staring at my stuff wide-eyed. I looked over at her, reclining in what was my bed, and laughing. When I grabbed my stuff off the floor, entitled lady turned to me and, with a malicious smirk, said, "Oh, did you need this bed?" I just glared at her and said, "No," in a clipper tone before walking off. I know I should have snapped at her about almost busting my property and disturbing the spa peace, but I was taught better than to entertain a petty person like her. After that, I thought I had seen the last of her and could enjoy the rest of my day relaxing in peace. But you all know what subreddit this is. I decided to ignore her and put on a paper face mask I had brought from home. I then proceeded to head to my silent sanctum, my napping chamber, the inhalation room.
I know what ain't having for dinner.
That has
Else.
lovely aromatherapy scents for people to breathe in and relax. I go in for the occasional long nap, set my phone for an alarm to go off in 2 hours.
Ah, give me that.
To sleep soundly.
Oh, I was cheap shit.
Into my nap, I hear the door open and someone sit down on the bench near me. I am on a wide bench, optimal for napping, and the other bench is a bit thinner and for just seating multiple people. Can you guess who introducing? If you said entitled lady, congrats, you're right. I don't know who entered at this point, But after a few minutes, I hear a huffing sound. Not a huffing sound as in someone is breathing deeply. This person was sighing loudly, exasperated because she was trying to get my attention. Finally, she says in an irritated tone, "Are you going to move over or not?" I tilt my head to her without moving the rest of my body, half asleep and ticked. I see it's the entitled lady from before, and
He
said,
ain't ready, bruh. I mean, he ain't ready.
"You are already sitting, and I'm happy
ain't
where
ready.
I am. I don't have enough room. Besides, you don't need all of that space." I'm not moving. You already took my bed out there and almost broke my phone. I'm trying to relax, and you are making that difficult. It's not your fault you can't fit. Apparently,
You should have
this
got
was the
Jamal
wrong
Tinsley.
thing. She huffed and stomped out of the inhalation room,
You
leaving me
remember
alone.
Jamal Tinsley, the point
I
guard?
thought I could chalk it
Indiana-
up to a
Indiana?
win and go back to sleep. But no. Oh no.
Considering the Ram 1500, you owe it to yourself to check out the best-selling trucks for 40
You could have got
years.
Mike Dunleavy and Karan Butler. I didn't know they was in the same draft class.
For starters, F-150 has 375 horsepower and more gas-powered torque than Ram. It can out-tow Ram. And it can handle more payload than Ram.
Jared Jeffries,
It's smart, too. Take Pro Trailer
Tony
Backing
Allen.
Assist, which makes it easier to back in what you're towing.
No, y'all not.
You're on your own. And there's the blind spot information system, which covers both the truck and the trailer. Plus pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking. Scans the road ahead to alert potential collisions and can help brake if needed. No wonder you'll find more F-Series trucks on the road with 250,000 miles than any other brand. The Ford F-150.
Now, more than ever, it isn't just about vision, it's about care. Right now, we'll cover your cost or the insurance copay for your eye exam. Nobody cares your eyes more than you.
A few minutes later, I get a knock on the inhalation room door, and in pops the spa attendant.
Oh.
I was confused. "Hello, spa attendant." "Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry, but we have received a complaint from one of the other guests that you have been disturbing this lady." "Wait, what?" I was shocked and took off my mask since all the hydration had left and took a good look at the spa attendant. She was someone
You gotta answer that. You gotta answer that for. You gotta answer that one, coach. You gotta answer for that shot, not
once
me.
in a while, but never in this situation. When I removed my mask, she instantly recognized me. "Oh, Miss Rock'n'Roller 93. I didn't know it was you. I'm sorry, but do you know this lady?" I look around.
Well, I was actually a little scared a little bit.
Looking smug, but also
Come on,
confused
Francis.
that
Wasn't no need for that.
I got the best
We up
idea
by
and decided
we up
to
by a
play
lot.
the innocent
He ain't
Trump
coming back.
200.
He ain't even gonna see
That
10
lady,
points.
she has been harassing me all day.
Kobe got a snowflake by his name.
And set my stuff on her bed to sleep in later. She comes in, tosses my stuff to the floor, and proceeds to take the bed. I let her have it since I didn't want to cause any trouble and decided to come in here instead to sleep. Then she comes in and tells me to get out so she can have the room. My eyes are kind of burning with unshed tears as I recount our encounters. More angry than anything, but playing it off.
Oh
I'm
man.
confused. I've never had a problem napping here before. Am I not supposed to be here? No, Miss Rock'n'Roller 93. You are okay to be here. She's lying. I'm here to relax, and she's been badgering me and getting in my face the entire time I've been here. Why are teenagers even allowed in this spa? Insert famous read that echoed off the walls of the spa. Me, now frustrated. I am not a teenager. I am a 26-year-old woman with every right to be here as you do. Use your inside voice for heaven's sake. You're in a spa.
Come on, Francis, you're killing me, man.
Looked like we would be stuck in a statement of he said, she said. The entitled lady's friend piped up. Her friend. Entitled lady, you're
No.
You did knock her things to the floor, so stop trying to deny it, and let's just enjoy the rest of the day. After that comment, the spa attendant's head whipped over in their direction with a smile, winked her eyes, and said, "Really? Please tell me more." Entitled lady then lost all of her smugness and paled when she realized she was not getting away with her complaint. Her friend then proceeded to tell the spa attendant.
Oh, come on, dude. You gotta do better than that.
Afterwards, the spa attendant apologized for disturbing me,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she would take care of everything. I relaxed back to sleep, still fuming at the whole situation.
Oh.
I got to nap longer than anticipated and showered before getting ready to head out. I saw another attendant who also had an
Good
awful
day.
experience
What?
with the entitled lady. Apparently, the entitled lady tried to get her fired for not getting her towels or bringing her stuff to the pool earlier that day. It wasn't in the attendant's job description, and she kept her job. She was thrilled when she heard the berating the lady got from the spa attendant and the manager after entitled lady had disturbed me. She also heard my jabs earlier, but couldn't act as a witness to everything. Entitled lady was promptly kicked out, and her friend was allowed to continue her time in the spa. All in all, it was a crazy experience. My mother was so proud of me when she heard my story, and was thrilled when she heard our next massage would be on the spa for the inconvenience.
That looks like it.
Hope you enjoyed my little tale of woe and slight payback. You have my permission to use this in a future video, and I hope to hear from you all soon.
Good shit, y'all.
Next we've got entitled roommate needed me to watch her baby while she went on a date on my birthday. Hello, Mr. Reddit.
Get the shit out of here. That's right, old head. Go way to back him up.
I appreciate it. English is my first language, just sometimes a doofus. Now for some context. We had a nightmare roommate that was also an entitled mother. If things weren't about her, she made them about her.
Yeah, you had that.
After I moved to where I live now. For more context,
You ain't getting too much more of that, though. I can't say that.
I live with now. Our cast. We've got entitled mom. She's the nightmare roommate. Entitled mother.
What if you could watch videos anywhere, anytime? With YouTube Premium, you could download and go. So you could watch the videos you love, anywhere, at any time. Upgrade to YouTube Premium. Try 1 month free and watch uninterrupted.
Just wait a minute.
This thing is gonna be fun to watch. NBA playoffs coverage continues on TNT. Streaming live on the Watch TNT app.
We've got her baby, and we've got me, OP. So, we had just had both my boyfriend at the time over and entitled mom's boyfriend pretty close together in time frames, and it was nearing my birthday. My other two roommates were leaving because entitled mom's mother was about to be a third-time grandma, so they left to go see the
Trash.
of the other grandchild.
He looked like I got a comfortable
Having
lead.
some stomach issues that I had been hospitalized for a few hours over a couple of days before the roommates left. She, entitled mom, knew this and that my birthday was coming up. She also knew I didn't have the energy to argue. She used this to her advantage. Remember how I said she had a boyfriend? Well, she apparently didn't care about cheating, even though he was the baby's father. I was laying in bed trying to stop feeling like I was going to be running to the bathroom when
How it's supposed to be.
steps into my room.
So you won't expect it.
I know you're pretty
Quick, fast, strike.
but I met a cute guy on Plenty of Fish. We set up a date on that day. Can you watch baby for me? My reply.
Oh, good day. Good day, yo. Good day. Nice way to tip that on the way up.
She did so.
That fin on there. Give me so I can
Money.
get out of that.
That conversation.
Killing me, dude.
Fast forward to my birthday. Entitled mom comes
No, they will not let me block a dunk.
I am confused.
Especially his.
Forgotten the conversation due to being sick still and needing the medicine the hospital gave me still. So
Why
I
did
asked
you
her
jump
to go
that?
on. You agreed to watch baby while I go on a date. She had on too much
Go put your headphones
an
on.
outfit that I could have sworn wasn't hers, and shoes that didn't match the outfit. My reply, okay, it is my birthday though, and I would at least like you to remember the burgers since I can eat those.
No, you haven't.
I'm not happy you're making me take care of baby though, to be honest, as it is my birthday. I say in the least confrontational voice I can. I don't
Wow.
care that it is your birthday.
Wow.
You got a cat, and I didn't for my birthday. As such, yes, I will bring the Burger King home, OP, but you better not bother me on my date. Then you better change baby's diaper right before you leave. Why? Are you trying to ruin my date? No, just saying I don't want to do it, and making me agree to something while sick and tired is pretty low of you. She goes on a tangent about how much bull it was that I was trying to ruin her
Let's get
day.
this.
So then the guy shows up, and she goes to change her cake, yelling at me from the other room about how I am making her wait, and making him wait too. Baby
My
was
board.
an angel while her mom was out, and didn't get too fussy. After entitled mom's date, she came back, and my birthday Burger King was cold. I did my best not to lose it. After her
Nice
date,
with a muscle him in
my
there.
roommate and got revenge by mentioning it was my birthday and an entitled mom made it about her. Moral of the story, if someone is sick, don't try to force them to agree to anything. Also, if it is someone's birthday, respect that instead of trying to make it all about you. Next we've got entitled cousin tries to steal my stuff. Hey, Mr. Reddit, the Re-Army. I've been watching your videos, and I got a crazy one for you. Sorry for any mistakes. I'm on mobile, and first post here on this.
Now, Ed, you see it's a monster now?
Some backstory.
See it a
I got my
monster?
dream room for my 16th birthday. Not to brag, but I got a gaming PC with 2 monitors, Razer keyboard and mouse, big Samsung TV with Xbox and PS4 collectibles, pop figures, and much more any teen could dream of. Now my mom invites people over, which annoys me, because kids always enter my room and want to play with my stuff. I can get easily angry, so I try to be as nice as I can and tell them no. But one kid couldn't take no for an answer. Now, meet our cast. We've got entitled cousin. We've got entitled aunt. We've got me, lazy jacket at McDonald's. And we've got awesome dad. Now, on with the story. I'm playing some games when entitled cousin enters my room without knocking. Entitled cousin. Oh. What? You have a cool room. Thanks, I guess. Can I play on your Xbox? No. Why? Because I said so. Now get out. Not unless you let me play on your Xbox. I said get out. Entitled cousin now starts crying. Runs out of my room. I thought that would be the end of it. No, son. We were just getting started. Not 69 seconds later.
Shit out of here.
Man storms into my room. Why did you make entitled cousin cry? Jeez, Grandma, calm down. Entitled cousin cried because I told him to get out. I know, Grandma. Now let my son play, or else. Me, trying to savage. What are you going to do? Spank with a magical fairy wand? No, I'm telling your dad. Meanwhile, we're arguing. Entitled cousin thought it was a good idea to steal my most favorite pop figure Reaper from Overwatch and my Xbox. Entitled cousin stormed out of the room and went after him, not before tripping over and breaking my Xbox. I was livid. What the heck? You jerk! You're lucky your mom is here. Entitled cousin, bawling his eyes out. I wanted your Xbox! I don't care! After that, entitled mom slapped me and kicked me to the ground. How dare dad is 6'10" and a bodybuilder. Why did you
I didn't
take
want
my son?
that. Ah, good shit, Paul.
My son's Xbox, and he pushed him to the ground. That's my Xbox that he took, and he tripped. And you blame me for this? Yeah, you little jerk. Dad gets upset. Listen, you've got 5 seconds to leave this house. But 5 seconds. At this rate, entitled cousin and entitled aunt stormed out of the house, and
they ain't give it to me.
My dad checked on me, and no pain and no shame, just a mark. I'll probably post here another time, but who cares? Edit. My family is rich, so I got my dream room like I wanted. And yes, I got a new Xbox with the same memory card. And our final story of the day. Karen Reeves, because she thought I got her baby. This is sort of a mixture between pro-revenge and entitled parents. Backstory. Now, I am one of only 2 people in my school who bikes there every day. The other being my friend. Despite the
Staring down, twat one in his face.
are quite used to looking out
You know what I'm
for us.
saying?
Along the road where my school is, there is a primary school, so you can imagine the bedlam that
Ah, I
we
knew it.
encounter every day, as many people, including a few Karens, rush with their kids to the school. Our cast. We've got me. We've got my friend. We've got entitled mom. We've got her kid. We've got the other parent. And we've got the tutor.
Can't get free money.
This happened a long time ago, so some of the details may be a bit hazy. I only became aware of these subreddits recently. I had just gone to pick up friend from his house.
Gonna take a lot of that, son.
Waiting aimlessly, I noticed a mother, entitled mom, dragging their screaming kid along the street to the school just along the road. This was no anomaly. I'm quite used to seeing this, as it happens at least twice a week from an assorted number of kids and pupils. Once friend came out of his house, wheeling his bike alongside him.
Oh, come on, Smith.
On the left side of the road. We are British and drive on the left, in other words, the correct side. As we approached the crossing for the primary school, I saw entitled mom and her kid crossing it. Soon, we were both close to the crossing. I was riding in front.
I was waiting for you to reach out on.
Mom and ran out into the road directly in front of me. I jammed on the brakes just when kid was paralyzed in shock. She had just noticed what she had done. I came to a halt about 3 centimeters from her feet. Enter entitled mom. What are you doing? I assumed she was talking to her kid. Why did you just
Yeah, you better bring that shit in that paint, boy.
I quickly realized she was shouting at me. What? I didn't. I just saw you slam into her. You purposefully on that path just to get to my baby. She said all of this, pointing her acrylic nails
Good
right
day.
at me. In situations like this, I try to keep as calm as possible, preferring to use reasoning instead of screaming at her. I didn't do anything of the sort. I was riding along the road. Entitled mom marches up to me. Yes, you did. You're just lying to get out of trouble. My friend. Obviously. Of course, it seems perfectly reasonable for him to be on the road instantly after he hit someone on the path, with the person he hit standing on the road and seems in good health. Of course it doesn't, you daft jerk. Don't use language like that in front of my baby. The hypocrite. Her kid says, Mommy, that nasty boy just hit me. Which I didn't. I know, sweetie. I'll make sure he gets put in jail. Kid grinned maliciously. Entitled mom pulled out her phone and opened it. Just as she began dialing what I presume was the police number, I couldn't see the keypad. A man who we shall call Other Parent, or P for short, came striding from the path. What the heck is going on
You Brett Brown. Call you Brett Brown. Call you Brett Brown.
I saw the whole thing. You let go of your kid, and she ran off into the road where these bikers were. They didn't even hit her, you lying jerk. Now, she says
Brett Brown.
Karen